Good morning and welcome. I'm hoping that everyone got to get in the program okay. I am Leona Bonds, and today we will take a pause as a student body to be encouraged and challenged. Black History Month is an annual event across the country that stemmed from Negro History Week. Groundwork for Negro History Week began in 1915, which was about 50 years after slavery was abolished. In 1926, the very first Negro History Week was celebrated. Yeah. The idea and phenomenon evolved, and in 1976, the U.S. celebrated the first Black History Month. Other countries around the world, including Canada and the United Kingdom, also devote a month to celebrating Black history. There are a wide variety of Black history celebrations and recognitions across the U.S. Black Americans have made timeless contributions that make life what we know it today. These contributions come from leaders, politicians, inventors, physicians, humanitarians, activists, and many more. Today, we are joined by two phenomenal speakers who will give us a few words of inspiration. We will also play a little Kahoot trivia for some prizes. But before we get into trivia, we will kick the program off by listening to the Spelman College Glee Club rendition with Lift Every Voice and Sing. Lift Every Voice and Sing, often called the Black National Anthem, was a poem written by the NAACP leader James Weldon Johnson, and then set to music by his brother, John Roseman Johnson, in 1899. Spelman College was founded in 1881, and it is a top-ranked historically Black college for women, and it's located in Atlanta, Georgia. Without further ado, here are the ladies of Spelman College singing Lift Every Voice and Sing, originally by James Weldon Johnson, and this version is arranged by Roland Carter. And if Ms. Bonds can actually pull everything up, we should be okay. Y'all know how technology goes when we're trying to do it by ourselves. All right, here we go.
where the white gleam of our bright star is cast. God of our wearies, God of our silent tears, Thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, Thou who hast by Thy might led us into the light, keep us forever in the path we As our feet stray from the places our God where we met Thee, bless our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world we forgive Thee, shadow beneath Thy hand, may we forever stand true to our God, true to our native
I hope you guys enjoyed that. So now we are going to try to play a little Kahoot trivia. And so I need you guys to take out your phones, tablets, or whatever you want to have. Most of you actually know how to play Kahoot, but if you do not, you go to the site and put in the pin. I am currently trying to pull it up, but it seems that technology is just not on my side today. It is taking forever, and I had it pulled up, but of course, we know what can go wrong will go wrong, right? So we're going to try to at least do 7 questions. It's actually 10, but we're going to try to play 7. I am going to ask that you use your real name so that I can find you to give you a gift card for the winner. And you all, please pardon the noise. My babies are here learning virtually like we all are. So and it's still taking a little while. Let's see what we're going to do. Okay, so maybe we won't play Kahoot. It is. Okay, it says my Kahoot is now loading, finally. All righty. And it's flashing. All right. So I'm hoping that you guys play. We have definitely come on and join in. We have teachers, you can play too at this point. Let's see who will win. We have some gift card prizes. I have at least 2 of them to give away. Let's see if we can get some people to log in and join us in Kahoot. As soon as this game pin comes, y'all see how slow it is? I told y'all it was slow. Finally, the game pin is up. Let's see if we can get somebody to join in. Oh, we got some people coming in. Okay. Yes, thank you for using your first and last name. I'm not going to be able to find you. Or unless your teacher can say, yep, that's me. Or that's my student. Hey. Oh, we got them coming in now. Oh, yeah, okay. All right. And if time permits, we'll play another round of Kahoot. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started on Kahoot. All right, you know the pin will be there for those people who are wanting to come in later. So let's look at the first question. In 1957, Martin Luther King Jr. founded which organization to work for full equality of Blacks? Now about 5 more seconds. All right, and most people put the NAACP, but it was the SCLC. All right, the next question. Who legally freed the slaves with his Emancipation Proclamation? You have choices of Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, Abraham Lincoln, or Malcolm X. About 5 more seconds. And the answer is Abraham Lincoln. And it looks like overall, everybody got that one correct. 66 of you answered that correct. Let's see who's in the lead. Cat Wall is still in the lead with Janiyah Wins coming on in. Next question. What was the most profitable crop on a Southern plantation? And this is after 1793. Was it cotton? Was it corn, beans, or tobacco? All right. And the answer is cotton. And that's a whole history lesson in itself. And we won't do that today, but most of you got that correct. All right, we'll do, let's see. Coach H has the highest, so he's already beat out Cat Wall with the answer streak of 3. Let's go. We'll try to get to at least question 7. What were the laws called that upheld segregation in the South? Was it John Duck, James Byrd, Jose Blue Jay, or Jim Crow? Oh, you can't see that out loud. They play the game. You will hear the answer in a second. About 2 more seconds. And it is Jim Crow, and almost everyone got that correct. The answer is Jim Crow. Let's see who's in the lead. Coach H is still in the lead. What was the name of the Supreme Court case that overruled segregation in the school system? Which actually stemmed in South Carolina, by the way. So was it Green versus the Public Education Board, Brown versus Board of Education, Blacks versus School of Topeka, or Red versus Educational Law? And way to go, it was Brown versus the Board of Education, which stemmed from a case in Clarendon County. All righty. Oh, we got a B, Coach H. Man, how y'all gonna let him do that? All right, Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat on the bus to a white man in which southern city? Was it Birmingham? Was it Montgomery? Was it Little Rock? Or was it Atlanta? No, you cannot say that. Montgomery, Alabama. 46 of you got that correct. And this will be our last question. Catwall is back in the lead. Dr. T, I see you up there. All right, last question for the win. Who was the first African American to die in the Revolutionary War? Was it Sojourner Truth? Was it Jim Crow? Was it Nelson Mandela? Or was it Crispus Attucks? And it was Crispus Attucks. Oh, we got to brush up on our facts. All right, so we're going to end the game right here, and let's see who the winner is. Let's see who the winner is. It's going to have to be Dr. T got third. Way to go, Dr. T. Catwall came in second. And in first, we have, let's see, Coach H. Well, Coach H, that's great, but we're going to have to give the gift card to a kid. So let me take a screenshot, snap of this, and we will we'll get your gift card to you. All right. All righty. So now we are about to bring up Miss April Garner. Let me cut that off. All right. Our first speaker is Miss April Garner. April Garner is a native of Conway, South Carolina. She is the director of the Office of Career Services at Horry Georgetown Technical College, where she has been employed for over 10 years. In her role as Career Services Director, April is responsible for developing career and professional development activities for the college's students and alumni, establishing business and collegiate partnerships throughout the community and the state, and identifying employment opportunities for student graduates. April has been featured in local and national media for her expertise in career and professional development. Garner completed her undergraduate studies at the University of South Carolina and obtained her Master of Education degree with an emphasis in higher education administration from Columbia College. Additionally, April is a community activist and influencer and is the founder of The Network and the networkconnects.com, an online directory and social media group targeting Black business owners, professionals, and the general Black communities within reach. She has 3,000 plus members and a co-host and contributor of the Whitty Moore Community Magazine talk show. I hope I said Whitty Moore correct. Okay. So I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to let Miss April take over. All right, Miss April.
Well, first of all, good morning, everyone. It's 11:20, so it's still morning. And thank you so much, Joy, for making or extending the invitation for me to be a part of this wonderful Black History Month program. First of all, I'm impressed by the amount of Black history that your participants appear to know, and I'm sure that they're going to wow you even more throughout the program as you continue to play the Kahoot game, which is one of my favorites. And I've been asked to speak for just a few moments about, something that may inspire you to continue to press forward and become a contributor, much like a lot of the Black history figures that you've learned about and that you know of. Maybe they're personal members of your families or your networks or your social groups. And a lot of them are just figures in history that we are finding out more and more about each day. And the one thing that I want to let you all know is that as far as Black history is concerned, Black history is American history. It's world history. It's a part of everything that we are as a society. And so each of you has the opportunity to become a part of Black history. And there's so many opportunities for you now to work together to make sure that we're unified as a nation and across the world, to make sure that your light shines in your own unique way, because you have strengths and abilities and certainly talents that can help our country and our world to reach higher heights. And there's so much that's going on now in the world that has been touched by even great African Americans. And, unfortunately, we're not aware of everything. But, thank God for programs like this today, where you can actually find out more about how Black Americans have actually contributed to our world. I was looking at something on social media this morning about the Mars rover, and how, there are pictures coming back from Mars showing the landscape and all of the, things out there that we kind of speculate about Mars, but we're not really sure of. And that's why it's happening. Well, if you know anything about Black history, you know that there are so many great Black Americans who actually contributed to, for example, space travel and space exploration. And if you've seen the movie Hidden Figures, then you know who I'm talking about. But if not, it's a great program that you can watch for Black History Month, so that you'll understand how we have impacted the sciences and technology and mathematics to do some powerful things in this world. Also, I feel that it's interesting to see so many different types of industries impacted by the contributions of Black Americans. And a lot of them were educated in their, home schools or in the schools in their public school systems. And, some of them did not have college degrees, but they just had the innovation and the spirit and the drive to be creative and to come up with new, powerful things to just impact society. If you are a first generation student, you should always feel that you have the power to do exactly what you want to do as far as your goals and aspirations are concerned. If you are a student who has been exposed to the college experience because your moms, your dads, your grandparents also were impacted by the college experience, then you should feel empowered to do those things as well. In other words, it does not matter who you are. If you have the drive and determination to do great things and to make an impact and to give back to this world, then it's all found within you. I was a first generation student, and I'm going to share something very personal with the group. My father only had a sixth grade education, and he actually owned his own business. He was a master roofer and carpenter, and he created some of the most roofing projects and even some other types of building projects throughout Horry County. And long after his death, people still sought his services, those who did not know that he passed on, because they believed in the quality of his work and also in his character. My mother, she graduated from high school, and although she aspired to become a teacher, she knew that she had to stay behind to take care of her younger brother and sister. But she was a great mom. She was someone who actually worked hard in her field as well. And she just contributed a lot to people in terms of wisdom and imparting drive and encouraging all of us to do what we wanted to do. So they were both surprised whenever I said that I wanted to go to college, because they'd never had the college experience. And yet I was a nerd in school, much kind of introverted when I was in school as well. But I knew that there were some things that I could do in this world that just fascinated me and interested me, and that, actually, piqued in terms of my personality. And so I decided that I would pursue the college process. and worked with my guidance counselors. And by the time my parents figured out that I was ready to go to college, or that I wanted to go to college, I had my paperwork in order. I'd already applied for financial aid, and they were wondering, well, why was she asking for our tax information? But that was the reason why, or the income information. And I had even secured a couple of scholarships to do my undergrad at the University of South Carolina. So I'm letting you all know that it's within you to excel and to do whatever it is that you want to do. Nothing should stop you. There's no such thing as a hurdle or a barrier. There might be a few bumps in the road, but even they're created as a slope so that we can go over them, as long as we seek the proper guidance, as long as we have great teachers like Ms. Bonds and great leaders, Chief Waits, who you're getting ready to hear from, and others in our community who are willing to help us and to show us what great character and leadership and responsibility, integrity, work ethic is all about. So as young people who have yet to experience the college journey, I leave you with this particular advice. Now is the time for you to start thinking about what you want to do. What do you want? What do you want to do? How do you want to do it? What are your strengths and skills that you have? What are the things you do really well that you could possibly turn into a career path, or that you could contribute to a career path that would definitely create a great foundation for you as you try to chart your course in life? And you take those gifts and those talents and those things that you've learned along the way, and you use them for the good of society, for the good of your families, and all of the people around you who you will impact in the future. So now is the time to start thinking about that. Start thinking about and talking to your parents about how you will, get through the college experience. Of course, I work at Horry Georgetown Tech, so I'm an advocate for community and technical colleges. And I'm telling you, even community and technical colleges are great ways for you to start to, your college process, and to kind of use it as a litmus test for your journey. It's a great way to save money and to prepare to move on to a four-year university. So, look into all of the college options, not just the four-year colleges that we typically are drawn to, but the two-year options that are great foundational pieces that will help us to lower our amount of student debt that we may have to incur, but also gives us the good foundation so that when we move on to four-year colleges, we'll be ready to go, ready to complete, and ready to move out into the workforce. So I challenge all of you today to just kind of look within yourself, find out what your goals are, find out what your dreams and aspirations are. Talk to your leaders around you to figure out how you can make those things work for you, and then go out and change the world. Be the change. And thanks so much for allowing me to be a part of this today. I really do appreciate it. If you ever want to know anything else about Horry Georgetown Technical College, Ms. Bonds has my contact information, and you can reach out to me as Director of Career Services. I can actually administer career assessments and can talk to you about career pathways. And we have other people at the college too who can start those conversations now so that you'll have a great foundational piece to make your decisions later on in the future. So to all of you, good luck. And remember, we want you to stay safe. Make sure you mask up, wash your hands, practice social distancing, and just take care of one another. And that will ensure that we have a brighter future.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So we want to thank Ms. Garner for her wise words. We actually have a theme for the month, and it's kind of hard to get everyone here, of course, to know our theme because we're kind of all spread out, virtual and hybrid. But our theme is a legacy of strength and a future of hope. And so we, of course, have to take our various paths to make sure that our future, all of our futures, are very bright. So we want to thank Ms. Garner. Ms. Garner, don't go anywhere. We're going to bring up our next speaker.
Okay.
All right. So our next speaker is Mr. Chief, Coach, lots of titles, Kelvin Waits. So let me read his bio for you guys, and then we'll bring him on. So his says, veteran, chief, dad, husband, mentor, coach, author, founder, and leader are all words used by people that follow the leadership of Kelvin Waits. As a person committed to building strong leaders, Chief Kelvin received a Bachelor of Science degree from Charleston Southern University in Organizational Management, a professional coaching certification from Adaras International, I hope I pronounced that correctly, He authored Hit Them Before They Hit You and launched Weights Lifted LLC, a private leadership and life coaching practice. Coach Kelvin is also a graduate of the prestigious FBI National Academy Class number 248 and the DEA's Drug Unit Commander Academy Class number 60, and they're both located in Quantico, Virginia. His impeccable record and accomplishments have positioned him to be a highly sought after speaker, presenter, and coach. His emphasis is always on leading, growing, and reaching. His strong faith inspires the masses to pursue excellence, even when excellence requires a huge stretch. He stands on his life's motto: we are all actors in God's production. Inclusion of all mankind pushes him to pursue success beyond applause, awards, and ovations. Chief Kelvin currently serves as the Chief of Police, the Board Chair of AMI Kids of Georgetown, the Board of Directors for the Salvation Army for Georgetown, Williamsburg, and Williamsburg counties, a board member for the Village Group, as well as a committee member on the Human Rights Committee for the Georgetown Department of Disabilities and Special Needs. Chief Waits is also a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. He enjoys connecting with young people and helping his community. His favorite saying is, don't just be good for something. So I'd like to bring on Chief Waits. Hey.
Hey, how you doing? Good morning.
I'm going to turn it over to you and see why my busy baby is writing on this board.
Is my volume okay?
It is fine. I can hear you just fine.
Great. Well, good morning, everyone. Again, my name is Kevin Waits, and I'm honored. I feel privileged to be here with you this morning, and I'm blessed just to be here today. I'd first like to thank Ms. Bonds for inviting me to spend a little bit of time with you. And I do have to say something about my good friend, Miss April, that spoke to you ahead of time and pretty much told you that it is within you. She's thebomb.com, and we don't see each other that often, but I admire everything she does in her drive to help educate her community. I thank the young people for being on this virtual platform. I saw you playing the game, and I was amazed at how many of you were actually on this platform today, because I know the truth is you've been going through a lot lately, prior to and during the pandemic. I know it hadn't been easy. I know it hadn't been easy on you. You've been displaced from social activities and your friends. You've been having to learn how to get your education a different way. But I want you to know that just like life, it's just like a storm, and storms pass. So hang on in there and continue to do the good things that you're doing. I do want to also thank Mr. Stone. I don't know if he's watching today, but I want to thank Mr. Stone for highlighting a program such as this, because it's extremely important, and Ms. Bonds touched on this earlier, as well as Ms. Garner, to highlight and acknowledge all history, all of the time, and not some history, some of the time. So I want to thank Mr. Stone for that, and I also thank Mr. Stone for inviting me to his school a couple of weeks ago to talk to the staff about cultural diversity, our biases, and not just learning, but respecting different cultures. And it says a lot about the leadership at Georgetown High School that those things are important. So again, I'm extremely excited to be here with you today on this virtual platform. And I do not take this opportunity for granted at all, because I have an opportunity. The way I see it is I have an opportunity to talk to our greatest resource today. And no, I'm not talking about silver. I'm not talking about gold or any other precious metal. I'm not even talking about GameStop stock, right? I'm not even talking about Bitcoin, but I'm talking about you, the young people, because you are our future, the future presidents, the future Miss April Garners, the future Miss Bonds, the future police chiefs. I mean, it's limitless. You are definitely our future. So from what I can see, what's going on here today, the future's looking bright, and I'm excited about it. So Ms. Bonds gave me a task, and my task today is to somehow find a way to motivate you or uplift you. And so I'm going to do the best I can to do that. And I'm going to accomplish this goal by telling you a story. about how, like Ms. April said earlier, it's within you. But I'm going to talk today about how you have to be proactive in life and make the best of your opportunities, right? Because as young people, you can't sit around and allow life to hit you. Okay, I'm gonna say that again. You can't sit around as young people and allow life to hit you, but instead you have to hit life. You have to be proactive. You have to hit life. Achieving your goals and reaching any level of success, it won't automatically happen. The game of life is not structured that way. So I promise you that you will never get a knock on the door from success saying, "Hey, put down the PlayStation, put down your phone, and come on and go with me. I'm success. I'm taking you." It just doesn't work that way. But instead, you have to chase it. You have to chase success. You have to be so hungry for success and achieving your goals that when you eat, it's like you got a hole in your stomach. You have to be that passionate and that hungry for success to be able to go out and chase it. You have to chase your dreams, like I said. So I want to tell you about a kid that grew up in Harlem, New York. He lived in Harlem with his older brother and his mom and his dad, and he grew up on the 14th floor in the projects. And he was a regular kid who enjoyed doing regular kid stuff, but he had some limitations. First and foremost, his family didn't have much, and to some standards, they would be considered poor. But even though that was the case, they had a really good family network, a good foundation, and they had the most valuable thing that they could have, and that was love. They really loved each other. This kid also suffered from severe asthma. He would frequent the emergency room. The slightest amount of dust, would cause him to have a violent asthma attack. So he was kind of sickly and limited. He also had to wear, because his legs were crooked, he was born that way, leg braces like Forrest Gump did in the movie. He wore leg braces just like Forrest Gump. And so as a result of all of that, he had a low self-esteem. He suffered from depression. He was constantly bullied, and he just didn't have a good feeling about life. The highlight of his day most days was for him and his older brother, to come home and find out that the elevator was working in their building, because 3 days out of 5, the elevator didn't work. And so after walking several blocks to get home from school, him and his older brother would have to walk up 14 flights of steps. So imagine this kid with asthma and these leg braces on and these crooked legs. Some days he would walk up the steps and he would actually have an asthma attack right there in the stairwell. Or some days his legs hurt so bad that he would have to stop, until the pain subsided or leveled off, and he would just sit there and cry. And his older brother would always say, "Hey man, come on, don't stop, keep going," But he had a tough time. He had a tough time growing up. On the other 2 days that the elevator did work, sometimes it would stop like in between floors. And so him and his older brother would have to lift him up and lift him out and then climb out, not even knowing if the elevator would start again and cut either one of them in half. I mean, that was their reality. And so the little kid had a pretty rough childhood, but he learned something very important from his experience, having to walk up and down those steps and everything he went through. And what he learned was that, and I want you to catch this, students, young people, is that there's no elevator that's going to come along and take you to any level of success. And that's what the kid learned from his experience. He couldn't depend on an elevator to take him where he needed to go. Okay. So if you don't remember anything else I say today, you remember this: there is no elevator that's going to come along and take you to any level of success. You have to walk up the steps. Okay. You have to walk up the steps. In other words, you got to put that work in. You got to put that grind in. You got to put that hustle in. You have to scrape and scratch and fight and continue to work. And you can't take shortcuts, because you have to walk up the steps. It's a process, and you can't bypass it. So moving along in his life, tragedy struck his family and caused his family to leave New York and move to Charleston, South Carolina. So after they moved, because he was in a different climate, his asthma, he still had it, but it got a little better. You know what I'm saying? He was able to breathe better. It was a different environment, a lot warmer. And so it kind of leveled off a little bit. And he had worn those leg braces to the point to where his legs weren't going to get any straighter. So he didn't have to wear them anymore. So the little guy started to realize that he was athletic. And he wanted to go out and he wanted to play football. And I remember, hearing this story, and he asked his parents, can I play? And they were like, nah, absolutely not. You're not playing. You're too fragile. You suffered from asthma. You suffered from crooked legs. You've been bullied. You've been depressed. Nope, absolutely not. You're not going to play. He begged over and over and over and over until his dad says, hey, let's give the kid a chance. But if you break a nail, you twist your ankle one time, that's it. You're only going to get one shot. So he was excited. He was probably the most excited kid in his neighborhood. His dad picks him up one day after work, and he takes him to football practice, his very first football practice. Dad parks the car. He gets out, and he's walking up to the field, and he walked a good distance, and he realized that he was walking alone. He turned around and nobody was walking with him. So he goes back to the car. The kid's sitting in the car. He's terrified. It's his first football practice. He doesn't think he can do it. He wanted to do it, but now it's right there in front of him. He is terrified. He's thinking about, suffering from depression. He's thinking about asthma. He's thinking about his crooked legs. He's thinking about being bullied. Everything just kind of hit him at one time. And his dad did what dads do. He calmed him down. He says, look, it's going to be okay. Let's go. Let's do this. You wanted to do it. I'm here to support you. I got you back. So they walk to the edge of the field. He's looking at his dad on the way over there, and his dad won't look at him. His dad won't look at him, and he can never figure out why. But later on, he figured out that his dad was just as terrified as he was. And I heard Miss April talk about her dad a little bit earlier, but this kid's dad also had a 6th grade education. And because, they had tragedy, he had to stop working and take care of his family. So he didn't have a childhood per se. He didn't play organized sports. He didn't go to prom. He didn't get to hang out with his friends. So he didn't really know anything about football. So he didn't know what to tell his son. They get to the edge of the field and he looks at him and he says, son, just hit them before they hit you. That's what he said. He simply said, son, just hit them before they hit you. And so that's what the kid went out and did that day. And he did that the entire season. And he ended up being the most valuable player on his team that year because what his dad said to him that day set him free. And I'm telling you the same thing right now. Hit them before they hit you. Now, I don't want you to go out knocking your brothers or sisters or your friends and neighbors upside the head and get in trouble and say, well, Chief Waite said I could do it. That's not what I mean. But I mean, hit life before it hits you. Be proactive, chase your goals and dreams and catch them because you have to go out and get it. Now, I'm not ashamed to tell you all that little guy was me. The little guy with the asthma and the crooked legs that didn't believe his life would amount to anything was me. What my dad said to me, what he said to me that day changed my life, and it changed my whole outlook because up until that point, I didn't believe that my life would be anything. What he said, it empowered me, it enlightened me, and inspired me to go out, be proactive in life, and chase my dreams. Never in a million years would I have imagined that I would be a police chief, let alone the first African-American police chief at the Georgetown Police Department, or be able to serve my country, or be a graduate of FBI Academy, or be an entrepreneur. So I encourage you today to go out and hit them before they hit you. When I was growing up, older folks would say, son, reach for the sky because the sky's the limit. But I tell you today that the sky isn't even a limit anymore. Miss April talked about Mars. The sky is no longer the limit. It is limitless what you can go out and do. You can go anywhere, you can do anything, and you can be whatever it is you want to be. But you have to put that work in. You have to chase your goals and dreams, and you have to hit life before it hits you. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not saying it's going to be easy because life can hit you with so many different things. Depression, It can hit you through bullies. It can hit you, having to overcome losing family members during the pandemic, all kind of disappointments. Life can hit you many different ways, but you got to hang in there. You got to keep fighting. You got to keep scraping and scratching, and you have to get proactive and hit life before it hits you. So when people don't believe in you and they say that you failed, you look at them and you say, no, I hadn't failed, because the letters in the word fail really stand for first attempt in learning, right? When you hit a wall and someone tells you along your journey, no, you realize and recognize the fact that, no doesn't mean it's over, but the letters inside the word no stand for next opportunity. And finally, when someone tries to tell you that you've reached the end of the road and it's over, you sit up straight, arch your back, stick your chest out, look them in the eyes and tell them that the letters in the word end stand for effort never dies, and that you will never quit. You will never stop grinding, and that you will never stop fighting, scraping, scratching until you achieve your goals and dreams. And when you do achieve those goals and dreams, it's time to sit down and set some more goals and dream a little bit more. So remember to be proactive and hit life before it hits you, and be so hungry to achieve your goals and dreams that it's like you have a hole in your stomach when you eat. You have to chase it. And I promise you that if you take my advice, everything will be all right. Again, I thank Ms. Bonds for having me today. I thank Miss April for being a special person she is. And I thank you young people for allowing me just to talk to you for a few minutes on this virtual platform. If I could do anything to help anybody, please just reach out to me, and I'll do the best I can to be there for you. All right. Thanks.
Thank you. All right. So we appreciate Coach Kelvin Waits, and we appreciate April Garner, who I'm also going to bring back on screen. And to the GHS students and staff, we appreciate you being here. And I have a special guest in my classroom. I'm going to make sure that I am following social distancing guidelines and put my mask on. And he is going to come and thank you guys as well. Go ahead.
But GHS family, what's going on? It's your favorite coach at GHS. You know, Coach Kelvin Waits is the favorite. But Ms. Garner and Chief Waits, on behalf of Mr. Stone and the rest of the GHS administrator and staff, we just want to say thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing with our students. And we're going to show the love. We're not going to give up. We know we're going to hit some roadblocks, but we're going to keep pushing. And again, on behalf of everyone here at Georgetown High School, we just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. And y'all, we have some GHS swag for you guys.
Awesome.
If you email me your address, I'll mail it to you. We have
All right.
Yes, thank you. All right. Thank you all. And
Thank you.
Thanks for attending. Bye-bye.
Great program. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I did all right.